Yo, what's up, everybody, including Lottie Dottie? You already know what it is. It's your boy Retro with you on today. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice, and I'm going to be glad in it. Hopefully, you guys can hear me good enough. And if not, let me know in the comment section, and we'll just kind of go from there. But so this is my what they call it, maiden voyage or whatever they call my first trip on the Darkside. For those who follow me, who have been paying attention or noticed my page, I recently, well, not recently, yesterday, I changed my tire, and I put a car tire on it, and I'm currently doing 75 miles an hour on Interstate 40, and what I did was when I put the tire on, I told the brother who did it to put it up to 40 psi, and so I got the tire on. Fit like a glove, man. I was really surprised because when the tire came in the mail, I was like, "Ooh, I don't know if this gonna work." It looked kind of big. I was concerned that it would hit my bracket for my trailer. I ride a 2019 Road Glide Special. I pull a couple trailers from time to time. I got a couple trailers in as well as a camper, and so I'll pull those from time to time. So I was concerned that it would interfere with my hitch because the tire seemed to be so much wider than the motorcycle tire. Of course, the motorcycle tire is rounded, car tire is flat. But anyway, we got it on, and once it actually got put on the wheel itself, it rounded out a whole lot more than I thought it would. Looks good, fits in there perfect. So no interference with my hitch, anything like that. So I had the guy set it at 40 psi, and which shoot my motorcycle tire ran at about 40 psi too. But some guys who run Darkside was like, "Nah, Retro, you need to bump that up to 45, ride it like that for the first 100 miles, and then you can drop down in psi to where you're comfortable at." And I'm going to tell you right now, I did a test ride yesterday at 40 psi. You couldn't tell the difference at all. I bumped it up to 45, so that 5 extra psi has made a big difference, and it's affecting the ride a little bit more negatively than I'm comfortable with. But I'm gonna ride it like this for the first 100 miles, like I said, as I was advised, and then I will drop it back down. I'll probably end up riding it at 40 psi because that 40 was nice. I mean, it was smoother than the motorcycle tire, and it felt good in the curves and everything. Of course, I haven't hit any major curves. Where I'm headed to right now, there are some curves that I'm going to take intentionally, and but I suspect that 40 psi is going to be a whole lot more forgiving than 45. So I know as soon as I hit that 100, I'm knocking it back down for sure. But so far so good. There is those who swear by it and those that swear against it, and so I'm the kind of person that I will collect my data, do my research, and then I will make a choice based on what I believe to be, So I just have a problem with those who allow others to dictate the choices they make without, doing their own research, if you will. I'm just not a fan of that. So anyway, Darkside is something that I wanted to do for a while, and I think that extra 5, it feels different back there. But this is something that I wanted to do for a while. And to be honest and transparent, the biggest deciding factor is the mileage that you get out of a car tire versus a motorcycle tire. And I've heard people, Nomad, shout out to Nomad, he's got a car tire on his Goldwing, and he's currently at 30,000 miles and going. So that was a big part of making the decision to go Darkside. And again, for those that are not familiar with what Darkside is, that's simply a motorcycle tire, excuse me, a car tire on a motorcycle. That's what Darkside means. And so every time I replace a tire, and I was normally replacing at least 2 or 3 tires a season, and that it can get costly. I mean, I was looking at about like $400 every pop. You know, the tire was running about $380, $390. Then you're looking at about like another $80 for install, and so this route is going to save me a few nickels, a few quarters, and even a few dollars. And I can put that back into the tank so that I can get across these state lines. Because for those of you who know, and those of you who do not know, let me inform you that we are on a mission, and it's called Mission 448. I'm saying deuce, maybe I should say fours. Mission 448, which is simply us collecting the 4 quarters of each of the lower 48 states. We just recently did the Ohio 4 corners. So I'm at 85 miles an hour in a curve on the interstate, and she's holding pretty good. No funny business going on in the back end. But anyway, we just finished the 4 corners of Ohio, last weekend? Yeah, last weekend. Well, actually, last Monday. And great ride, great experience. We left, I left Statesville, North Carolina last Saturday, right around 2 o'clock, about 2:30. I don't remember what time I got to Alliance. Let me see if I can remember what time it was. It might have been about maybe 9 o'clock, give or take, somewhere around there. I think it was by the time I got there, 9-ish. But anyway, we got there at about 9 o'clock Saturday night. Got up Sunday morning, went to church with Pastor Holly and his wife. Actually was honored to be able to bring the word. And then we got up Monday morning about 5 o'clock. Well, we actually got up earlier than that. We met up at the Kicks Hands Up location at 5 o'clock, heading to do the 4 corners of Ohio. And the first corner was Ashtabula, Ohio. Wasn't too far from Alliance, maybe an hour or so. And we left Ashtabula, headed for Defiance, North Carolina. Of course, by that time, the sun was up. It had started to warm up. And as we were leaving Ashtabula on the way to Defiance, it was a great ride. And, nothing eventful for the most part. We got to Defiance, and we were met with defiant winds. Oh my goodness, the wind was borderline brutal, leaving from Defiance, headed to Cincinnati, Ohio. Of course, we weathered it like a trooper, the 5 of us. Shout out to Meso Young. Shout out to Kevin. I think his name was Kevin. Yeah, Kevin, Nick, and Mike. And so yeah, man, it was a great ride. We left Defiance down to Cincinnati. Cincinnati, we stopped at the Cincinnati University, I believe it was. Did a photo op, and then we left there, headed to the last corner, which was Steubenville, Ohio. And that was probably about the longest stretch of the trip as it relates from corner to corner. And of course, by that time, we had been in the saddle all day. And it got dark on us before we could get to the final corner, which we knew that would happen. But it was still a good ride. It got dark, and of course, the temperatures had started to drop. But it was a beautiful ride still, nonetheless. A couple of the guys that were riding with us were on trike, and one of the guys, Kevin, we're going to get him on the Retro Philosophy Show here shortly, so that way you can hear his experience and what he thought about it. But this brother was 75 years young, and He was on his trike, man, but he was making it do what it do. It's a good ride, man. It really was. When it was all said and done, from we left Nick's house, which is where I stayed. Okay, I'm at 90 miles an hour now, guys. Didn't even realize I was going that fast. And as I enter this curve, you know, I can feel a little, you know, yeah. So, of course, this tire, let me see, was just put on last night, so it has less than 10 miles on it. And even on a motorcycle tire, you know, that first 50 miles, I usually, you know, break it in easy. But yeah, at 90 miles an hour coming into that curve back there, you know, I started feeling my bike not to be as responsive. But again, I knew that would happen because I'm riding it at 45 psi, and that's for the first 100 miles to, I guess, seat it properly or break it in, and then I'll lower it back down. Because last night when I took it out at 40 psi, it was a different beast. I tell you, I was leaning into the curves, and you couldn't even tell you weren't on a motorcycle tire. And then I'm contending with some winds here as well. But nothing that's alarming, nothing that's crazy, but just enough to make you, you know, kind of aware of what's going on here, which is not a problem. But anyway, back to the trip, man. The Ohio Four Corners, man. Frank, I think I said, what? Frank. I think his name was Frank. Yeah, Frank. 75 years old, on his trike, making it do what it do, man. And we had a great trip, man. If you're interested in riding the Four Corners of your state, you will receive a 3-inch patch. This one here that I'm sporting right here is the NC Four Corners, and that's what the patch looks like for all of the states, with the exception of the respective state silhouette. So, in other words, if you do South Carolina, of course, it won't have the North Carolina silhouette. It have the South Carolina silhouette. So I want to give a shout out to all those who have registered and who have been doing the Four Corners. Quite a few of you guys have done it. We had a couple groups we had a group from Tennessee come down and do the NC Four Corners. We've had a group out of Virginia do the Virginia Four Corners. Shout out to Piper. She's done the Pennsylvania Four Corners. Shout out to Highway Dre, Street Soldiers. The Street Soldiers did the NC Four Corners. Let me say this. If you're watching this and you're a biker and you haven't done the Four Corners of your state, where you at, bro? Where you at, sis? Come on, man. You gotta knock out the Four Corners of your state before you start talking ground pounder status. I'm just saying. Kodak the ground pounder, you already know what it is, man. We told him what we had going on. He said, say less. When we going? So Kodak, he knocked out the NC Four Corners. Of course, Kingdom Alignment Motorcycle Ministry. We knocked out the NC Four Corners as a group. Had a great time doing it. And so let's see here. So Street Soldiers, they knocked it out. Worldwide Riders, they knocked out the Four Corners of North Carolina just recently. Shout out to them. And Highway Dre, though, let's talk about Highway Dre for a minute, man, because, man, he's knocked out, I don't know, 5, 6 of them so far. Let me see if I can remember how many he's done. I know he's done North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. I think he did Alabama, Virginia. So he's racking them up, man. So shout out to Highway Dre. Thank you for your support, brother. Big Frizz, Rare Breed in the building. You already know what it is. Big Frizz, he knocked out the NC Four Corners. Him and his wife did that together. We had the privilege of going down there and hand delivering them their patches. He then turned around and the following weekend knocked out the Virginia Four Corners as well. So shout out to Big Frizz in the building, making it do what it do. Coming into a nice curve here on the car tire. I can feel it much harder at 45 than it was at 40. But again, I expected that much. So I guess this video is kind of a little bit of everything, but mainly a review of the Darkside. situation we got going on. So yeah. So Big Frizz knocked out North Carolina as well as Virginia, and so we are waiting for the Virginia patches as well as the Ohio patches to come in. We did run into a little discrepancy with the company that was doing the patches. They ran into some issues where the lettering was touching, and the image that we sent them was not like that. So we don't want to put out a subpar quality product. So with that said and done, I was like, no, we can't approve that. We can't accept that. Let's get this right. Because when these people get their patches, I want it to be top notch. So we're waiting on them to get the patches sent back, and that way we can distribute them. Let's talk about that for a minute, okay? If you do any of the what we are calling the Cam Fan Four Corners, your patch will not be mailed to you. It will be hand delivered, either by myself or one of the ambassadors, one of the I that aspect of this here, man. You know, so that's what we're endeavoring to do. And again, so far we've been able to be the restriction. To that question, we ask you on the registration form, are you interested in being an ambassador for your state? And you can just click yes, and then we'll contact you. So that way, anyone doing these four corners can get their patch hand delivered, okay? So the ambassadors will help us do that, okay? I figure you guys are tired of looking at my ugly mug, and I turn you around, let you see a little bit of the scenery. I take this road quite often. I've taken you guys on this road before. Normally when I'm on my bike coming through here, I'm leaning, almost scraping. And again, the, the camera doesn't do it justice as it relates to the curves. However, something's better than nothing. But yeah, normally I'm coming through here much faster because I'm telling you, I promise you, no exaggeration, I can't feel the difference from this car tire and the motorcycle tire coming through these curves right now. I really can't. Now at a faster rate, would it be different? I don't know, but I'm not gonna. First of all, I had a sheriff in front of me, as you can see, just turning off, so I wasn't trying to go too much faster. But also, this is the break-in period, so you don't want to go stupid. You don't want to go crazy, okay? So this is a significant curve right here. Camera doesn't do it any justice, and I'm telling you, man, rolling off of this tire, you really can't tell the difference. I'm still going to back off the PSI because it feels a little softer at 40 versus 45. But man, it feels a little bit more round. My apologies, bad signal. So coming in this curve right here, you can't even feel any difference from a car tire and a motorcycle tire. So for those of you guys who feel some kind of way about a motorcycle tire not being able to corner and curve, ride one and see the difference. Ride one and see the difference. I did see somebody comment about the particular brand tire that I used, and they said that it has a low thread count, which means, it's not expected to last as long as some of the other ones that are out there. But compared to a motorcycle tire, it's still going to get me 2 or 3 times the amount out of it. But it is said that the tire that I use is a great tire for, a first-time Darksider, because it was very inexpensive, and it'll still do what you need it to do. And so on this car tire, I am expected to get at least 25,000 miles out of it. And so it feels good. I mean, like, for real. So I got to pick my wife up later on today from work, and so by then I'll slap 100 miles on here, and before I go grab her, I'll drop that tire pressure down a little bit and see how it does with a passenger. But I am completely, and when I tell you completely, I am completely sold on the whole car tire thing, Darkside, because it feels good. I just want to hurry up and knock out these 100 miles drop it back down to 40 and hit some really good curves at a significant speed to just, you know, solidify everything. And I'm gonna pull in here and get me a burger. I'm supposed to be laying off on the burgers a little bit, but I am really peckish right now, and so I'm gonna grab something to eat real quick, and then I'll head over to my next assignment, and then we'll make it do what it do. So thank you guys for tuning in, and so far my take on this car tire is definitely a thumbs up. It's definitely a thumbs up. And so again, after I slap 100 miles on it, we'll go live again and just do our full complete review. Shout out to Low Key. He said talk to me in 5,000 miles. So we'll definitely be talking with Low Key. We'll probably even see about getting him back on the show, and we'll talk about this whole situation. I'm not telling you to go out and get a car tire. I'm just telling you that's what I did. To each his own, tomato, tomato. You know what I mean? But for me, this is gonna work. For me, this is gonna work. So let me go get my burger, man, and I'll talk with you guys real soon. If you have not already hit the subscribe button, do me a favor. Go ahead and hit that link down below and subscribe. Make sure you put on your calendar the 24th through the 26th, Kingdom Alignment Motorcycle Ministry Biker Sunday weekend. Meet and greet on Friday, the 24th, 6 p.m., 442 Westmore Avenue. Saturday, benefit ride kickstands up at 10 a.m. from Upper Praise Ministries. And then, of course, Saturday, we're going to have a worship explosion at 11 a.m. You don't want to miss it. It's your boy Retro, man, and I'm going to talk with you guys soon.